I'm going to work out for 30 days to get into the best shape of my life in 2022.
You think you know me?
After dedicating my life to the unhealthy lifestyle of a working artist and really letting myself go in my 20s, this is the year I want to give back to myself. The pandemic didn't exactly help because all the gyms closed down and it became really hard to stay consistent. So I decided to give myself this challenge of working out for 30 days on camera to force myself to be consistent, to transform my body, and to get my life together. My plan is going to be to work out for 6 days a week with 1 rest day. I'm going to be doing Caroline Girvan's Epic 3 workout series because as long as you have a yoga mat and some weights, you can pretty much do her workouts anywhere. And I've heard they really work because they destroy your body. The workouts are about an hour or less, so they should be easy to incorporate in my daily life. For my diet, I'm not going to change all that much because I already eat pretty healthy. I mostly just eat avocado toast and hot pot most days, and then the occasional cheat meal once or twice a week. Nothing is going to be off limits. I'm not going to restrict myself at all because I want this to be a sustainable change. I have tried every diet imaginable, and yes, at the end of the day, all of them do work, but not long term for me. For example, white rice is just part of my diet. I will eat it occasionally because it just goes with most Asian foods. So when I cut out rice, naturally I'm going to lose a lot of weight really fast, almost immediately. But when I reintroduce it back into my diet, I gain all the weight back pretty much immediately because it's not practical to cut out a main food group that I eat on a daily basis. So for this challenge, if there's anything I want to eat, I'm going to eat it. I'm not going to restrict myself hardcore just for a video. But of course in moderation, I'm not going to allow myself to binge on an entire pack of Oreos just because I want to. Though I will do intermittent fasting because it's kind of already part of my everyday eating pattern anyways. I'm going to be following the 18-6 eating window, which means I fast for 18 hours and eat for 6 hours of the day. So basically I'm not allowed to eat until 12 p.m. for lunch, and then I stop eating around 4 p.m. for dinner. But at the end of the day, I'm going to treat this very intuitively. So for example, on cheat meal days, I'm probably going to do OMAD, which means 1 meal a day. When I have a really big, rich cheat meal, let's say burgers, fries, and some ice cream, I don't feel hungry for the rest of the day. So I'm not going to force myself to eat another meal just because I have to force myself to eat 3 meals a day for some reason. Or when I feel hungry and I really do need to eat breakfast, I'm going to eat breakfast. I'm not going to starve myself just to fulfill some kind of diet. Here is what I'm starting with. I'm also taking measurements because weight is not the best way to track progress. If I'm gaining muscle and losing fat, the scale isn't really going to show that. Besides, I don't really mind being at a higher weight if my clothes fit better and I feel fitter and stronger. The challenge begins and it's day 1. I felt so weak. I could barely do a push-up. I can't do a tricep push-up. I had to use lighter weights than what Caroline was using because I just physically could not lift the heavier weights. And I had to take a lot more rest because the workout was truly, really difficult. And let me tell you, I was so sore after the first day. I was sore after the second day, and it was so difficult to get through 4 whole days of doing Caroline's workouts before I could have my first rest day. I was dying. As for food, whenever I start working out, for whatever reason, my appetite becomes a little bit suppressed. So I had absolutely no difficulty just following my normal diet of avocado toast and hot pot. I had 1 cheat meal and I didn't really fall off the wagon in terms of diet at all. So here are the results for the first week. It was pretty successful. I was on track. I lost a lot of weight, and that typically happens in the first week of doing anything consistently for me. So I'm not expecting this kind of weight loss for the subsequent weeks. And the nice thing about that is I feel super motivated to keep continuing. I started feeling really energized, and I've been having really good sleep because I'm dead tired by the end of the day. And then week 2 was a complete disaster. I went traveling and it was the holidays, so I didn't exercise at all or stick to any type of diet at all. I was eating a lot and not exercising. So I didn't really count this week as part of my 30-day challenge. I had an extra week of exercise. But you know what, that's life, and this is really realistic. There will be weeks when you just don't exercise, you fall off the wagon, and it doesn't really matter how many days you miss. As long as you get back on the wagon, keep exercising, keep dieting, it's not going to be the end of the world. It's not like something like this is going to cause me to gain 10 pounds every time it happens. As long as I can maintain my weight and get back on track in the long term, that's what's most important to me. One thing I want to note during this time is I did intermittent fast because I was eating out pretty much every single day. I only ate once a day. The foods I was eating was not good for me. It was things like ice cream, Korean barbecue, and just really dense, rich food. While intermittent fasting, I was able to maintain my weight while eating pretty bad food, which is a big plus for me because if I wasn't intermittent fasting, let's say I was eating maybe 3 bad meals a day, I probably would have gained like 10 pounds. So week 3, we'll just call it week 2. I came back from traveling and things didn't go as planned. It's pretty difficult to get back on track when you have been eating badly and not exercising for an entire week. Have you ever come back from a vacation and then felt like you needed a vacation from your vacation? I had intense cravings to eat everything because I was eating whatever I felt like on vacation. Ice cream, fatty meats, burgers, all the carbs. And it was just super hard to get myself motivated to work out because I was just tired. I needed to rest. But I pushed through and I'm really glad I did because I felt pretty accomplished by the end of the week. Even though my workouts weren't the best and my eating wasn't the best, I gave into my cravings a little too often this week. Not proud of that. The workouts also kind of made me really unmotivated because during the week it felt like I had lost some strength that I gained by the end of week 1. So that kind of sucked. By the end of the week, I felt pretty unmotivated because I wasn't seeing any progress whatsoever. One thing I am very happy about is documenting this process. If it weren't for recording these videos, I probably would have skipped a lot of the workouts. This is probably the fastest I've ever gotten back on the wagon because this is probably the most intense way of keeping myself accountable, putting my progress out for hundreds of people to see on the internet. Fun! All jokes aside, it is kind of fun. Week 3 is the week that I started waking up at 5 a.m. for a video. I thought I was gonna hate it, but turns out it was kind of life-changing. Waking up early made it super simple for me to stay consistent with my workouts. I no longer had the typical excuses that I always used for myself, like, I woke up too late, I don't have enough time, I have too much other stuff to do, to film, My eating also got back on track because I was finally weaned off of the rich, calorie-dense food from the previous weeks, and as a result, I ended up getting a lot more done in a single week than I normally do. So as a whole, I felt a lot more motivated and everything just kind of clicked together this week. Because I had more time to spend on my workouts, I started really enjoying them more. I used to treat it as this thing that I just kind of had to do in my day and I just wanted to get it over with. But now I'm starting to really just use it as therapy, as a way to regulate my emotions, and I'd feel kind of antsy if I didn't get to exercise. This is also the week I started noticing I was finally getting stronger. I was actually able to do a few push-ups before changing to the easier variation. I was actually able to pull off a tricep push-up, which is very difficult for me. I can finally start using the heavier weights for some of the reps instead of the, easier weights and not really doing the full workout. By the end of this week, I definitely saw some results in the mirror and on the scale. It was definitely not as drastic as the first week, but even seeing the scale and the numbers move a little bit was super exciting for me. Week 4 was definitely the week I saw the most progress. This week, working out finally became routine for me. I no longer think if I'm going to work out, I automatically put on my workout clothes once it hits 7 a.m. to start moving. I saw a huge improvement in terms of my strength. I can do push-ups, I can do a bunch of tricep push-ups. I'm really proud of myself. I can start lifting the heavier weights for the entire workout and not really have to take too many breaks in between. This is also the week I'm seeing the most changes in the mirror. I'm looking a lot stronger, a lot more muscular, and generally more fit. My clothes are fitting a lot better. In fact, a lot of them are starting to become pretty loose on me. I'm also not getting as sore as I used to get in week 1. I am still getting sore, to be honest, but not in the level of I can't sit on the toilet because my legs will just give out and I'll just fall in. Caroline's workouts are so nicely varied that you're not going to plateau if you follow her plans. They're always going to challenge you and give you variations that you're not used to doing, and they're always going to be pretty difficult. For food, because I've been making so much progress, I just don't want to derail my progress by eating badly, so it's been pretty easy sticking to my normal diet of avocado toast, hot pot, Korean sundubu with the 1 cheat meal a week. So without further ado, here are the results. I definitely lost quite a bit of weight and my measurements are starting to shrink, especially around the waist area. I'm finally starting to see my abs start to come in a little bit, which I have never had abs in my entire life, even when I was in high school where I was basically working out 3 hours a day. Basically at my peak level of fitness, I still didn't have abs. My clothes fit a lot better, I feel stronger, I feel healthier. I used to have back pain, upper back pain from hunched over at my desk working or drawing for 10 hours a day, but also lower back pain when I'm standing for long periods of time. So I basically just didn't like going to music concerts if they didn't have seats. Now my back pain is just completely gone. So was it sustainable? Yes, I think an hour or less every single day is definitely doable for anybody. I don't care what your excuses are. Working out for me now is a non-negotiable. I have to work out every single day in order to regulate my emotions and to just be a happier person in general. On my rest days, I actually feel a little bit sluggish and like I need to work out because working out kind of acts like caffeine for me. The diet portion is super sustainable for me because I didn't really cut anything out and I'm not really restricting myself all that much, and I was still able to lose weight and to exercise and maintain a healthy lifestyle. Even if some days I want an extra cheat meal or I want to have the extra cookie or extra bowl of rice or something, it might slow down my progress, but I don't care about fast progress if I'm just gonna gain it all back eventually anyways. I think the things that my body really responded to was consistency. If I worked out for a few days, took a rest day, worked out for a few more days, took another rest day, my body wouldn't gain much strength or lose much weight, as opposed to working out for 6 days straight and having one rest day. Caroline's workouts were also super effective for me. I used to do a lot of cardio because I thought that was the way to lose weight. With Caroline's workouts, I've fallen in love with weightlifting. I don't have to feel like I am dying out of breath every single workout to feel like the weights are doing something. I feel like I'm getting a much better workout than I used to because I'm incorporating weights and gradually upping the amount of weights week to week. But because I am not at my goal body or my goal weight yet, I'm going to continue this challenge for another 30 days. I'm going to check in at the 60-day mark and see how much my body has transformed. To help this process along and to learn about all the incredible health benefits that I gained just by intermittent fasting, check out this video next.